If you've been following Michael and I this since February, you know that we have been on a crazy busy travel schedule. We've attended and spoken at 14 different conferences, and we've been all over the US. Most recently, the last 3 conferences were back and forth, east to west, east to west. I was gonna write a long post about this, and the more I wrote, the longer it got. So I thought instead I'm just gonna shoot a video and kind of tell you how our travel lifestyle and our healthy lifestyle is incorporated into the work we do to keep us healthy and strong, and how we recovered after coming home, which it's just now the holiday weekend. We've only been home for about 4 days and already back into routine, and everything is feeling great. So first and foremost, we didn't just start out with the goal of we're gonna get through this, we're gonna grunt it out, because that doesn't work. This is business travel. This is a travel lifestyle. So while we do have enjoyment on these trips and we do find things to escape from and get to so that the trips become a little more interesting, this is work. This is where we start planting seeds, developing new relations, expanding our network for the future. So make no mistake, this is work. First and foremost, sleep, sleep, sleep. You have to address foundation. There is no way around it. And I can tell you one of the biggest challenges, especially traveling east to west, is on these last trips, we were up 2:30 one morning, 3:30 the following morning, or the following trip, and then 4 a.m. on the following trip. That in and of itself isn't as big of a deal, except that when we get to the the West Coast, we are now on their time. So we're always staying up a little bit later, and the extension of our day becomes more significant. One day here and there, but we've done this trip over trip over trip. So week over week, this becomes a little more taxing on circadian rhythm and made it a little more challenging to catch up. So we focused as much as we could on trying to get to bed at a reasonable hour and sleeping in as long as we could in the morning, while still allowing some time for exercise, even if it was only 20 minutes on a treadmill, getting our heart rates up to get the juices flowing for the day, instead of foregoing all forms of exercise. So sleep, exercise, 2 foundational components. Number 3, of course, is no crap. Maybe a little bit of dessert or something here and there, but by and large, it's hard enough to eat healthy for the average person, but now you throw in additional stress of travel and conference and workload on top of that, and you start eating in a way that doesn't support your system nutritionally, which means energetically, and it's just a downward spiral. So we're always very focused on making sure that we're eating good meals. I cracked open many cans of sardines on these trips because I needed additional support from what was lacking often in conference meals. 2 other game changers for me, electrolytes. I cannot speak strongly enough about the importance of staying hydrated when you travel. There's 2 different brands that I like. This one is called Salt, S-A-L-T-E. I also like LMNT, the letters LMNT, available on Amazon or on their own sites. I opt for the raw, unflavored instead of any type of a sweetener. The reason is sugar in any form still is hitting the dopamine sensors and creating additional cravings. Don't need that added burden when I'm traveling. The other thing that is a game changer, ketones. These are what's called exogenous BHB ketones. There's a couple of different types of ketones on the market. I like these best because they are medical grade and they get into the bloodstream right away. So ketones are a preferred energy source in the body. Instead of that afternoon caffeine jolt or trying to get another couple shots of espresso so I can get through the rest of the day, I would use a second packet of ketones at about 2 p.m. on the conference days and travel days, and I tell you, it carried me through. Energy was very consistent, cognition was high. It also seemed to curb cravings for alcohol. So my alcohol consumption was low, not non-existent, but low. And it's easy, again, when you're traveling to consume a bit more excess in alcohol, which also kind of tires you out, disturbs sleep. So let's talk about what happened when I got home, because this was when I really started to notice the effects. We got home this past Tuesday at 2 a.m. First thing we did was just get into the house, climb into bed, brush our teeth, climb into bed. And my thought was, well, I'm gonna try and get up at 6:30 because I haven't been sleeping through the night. It started getting a little worse these last couple of weeks. And I may as well just get up and try and go to the gym and get back to a normal rhythm. Set the alarm for 6:30. And when I woke up, it was like, nah, this is a no-go. Not gonna happen, at least in terms of going to the gym. So instead, I got up to get back into my normal time frame, had my morning coffee and my hydration drink and everything, started working on the computer a bit, had to be at a client's office that afternoon, and then right afterwards, straight to the grocery store on the way home to load up on foods that we've been lacking the last couple of weeks with all of the travel. So for us, what that means is nutrient-dense meals, salads that have every color of the rainbow in them you can imagine, good quality protein, making sure we're eating consistent meals. And we cooked meals all week instead of going out, because that would have been easier, because I wanted to make sure we weren't getting any junk oils or any of the other junk that's often in a lot of food when it's out of your own purview and control. By Thursday is when I really started to feel the reset. So how did I know my body was stressed? The biggest indicator for me was my heart rate was high. I felt tense a lot and I couldn't get it to come down. All my normal practices of getting ready for sleep would not slow things down when I got to bed. I was restless all night long. I had multiple wake cycles. So my strategy was, okay, ease back into it. Don't go to the gym and try and do everything all at once and push the body as hard as possible. No, I went to yoga. I did a lot of breath work. I got into a weight training class, but I didn't go gangbusters. I got through the movements and challenged myself without overtaxing the body, because the body's already in a stressed state, so I don't want to make it worse. My real change when I noticed came Thursday morning. I felt I was ready to go do a spin class. And what I liked about that, at least in my thought process, was, okay, I can control exertion and relief and exertion and relief. And this should help my sympathetic and parasympathetic, fight or flight, right? Heart high, heart at a resting state. This should help me start to get back to controlling it normally. And I will tell you, it worked. Thursday night, slept through the night, no problem. Friday, yoga, didn't do any more weight training. Yesterday, another spin class, and I've been sleeping great. So things really feel like they're back to where they should be. So the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is when you notice, when you're under duress and excess stress, you can tell. And it's better to kind of pull back, focus on foundation, sleep, exercise, and nutrition. Those are your key pieces. I hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope that the next time you're in a really stressed state and you really start to notice the changes, what you look at is what are the pieces you're not addressing versus just adding more and more stuff in to try and control your response. Look at the foundational components, address those first.